I'm here to introduce Capco's new credit request submittal process that is done through Cobra. This process is efficient and intended to simplify the current way we do credits. So, in order to do a credit, the order must at least be in invoice stage so that the data is loaded into Cobra. For example, a customer has asked us to do a credit against an existing order. So we'll go ahead and look for that order in Cobra. And once we find it, we'll select it. So you are brought within the sales order. And here you see a button labeled Credit Request. You'll want to go ahead and select that option. Once you've selected that option, it'll bring you into the actual credit memo. Here you'll see a drop-down menu labeled Reason Code, where you would go ahead and select whatever the reason may be for the credit. And we'll just go ahead and pick one. Underneath is a reason explanation box. Here you would describe the reason for the credit, if the customer was short shipped, over shipped, if you are asking them to scrap the parts, whatever the case may be, any information you think would be helpful to accounting, you would want to go ahead and put it in this section. So we'll just and when you're finished with that, you will go ahead and click the next button. This next page will give you the option to select which part number you need to credit. You can only select one part number at a time, so if you need to credit multiple lines from one order, you would follow the same process for each individual part number. You will notice a freight credit option at the bottom of the list, and you would select that if you wish to credit freight only. So for training purposes, we'll go ahead and select this AS part number. And we'll click the next button. Some information is provided automatically from the sales order. For instance, the part number, the quantity, and the unit price are copied over from Trend into the sales order within Cobra. The only piece of information that you are required to look up in Trend and carry over into Cobra is the ICN or lot number. And you'll see this section here would be where you want to put that information. So put a placeholder in for here, and we'll say the customer was short shipped 2 pieces, so we're going to go ahead and credit them for the 2 pieces. And this is the price we sold it to them, so they will need a credit in that amount. And once you have that information, you would go ahead and click the next button. As mentioned earlier, you can only choose one part number to credit at a time. If you are crediting more than one part number, this is the place to do it. The options are laid out for you, and you would simply select yes, more credits to add, or no, I am finished. So for this training purposes, we will go and say that there is another part number that the customer needs credited. And on this particular order, let's say that the customer was short shipped again 2 pieces of this M834 part number. So it brings you right back into this credit memo screen as before, and this time you select the M8 number and click next. And once again, the only piece of information that you are required to carry over from Trend into Cobra is this ICN number. So we'll put a placeholder in here. And the customer was short shipped 2 pieces, so we want to credit them for those 2 pieces. This is what we charge them, and so we will be issuing a credit for that amount. And when you are finished, you can go ahead and click next. So now we are finished issuing our credits. So we'll go ahead and click No, I am finished. Now you will be able to view the credit by clicking the link provided. You can also navigate away from the page if you don't want to view the credit. So once you selected No, I am finished, accounting has received the credit. But for training purposes, we will go ahead and look at what we did. So Cobra gives each credit a unique number that you can see here. And this is the credit we issued. You know, we did 2 separate line items, and you can see both parts right here. And up top is the summary of our credit. So once you have submitted the credit, the assigned accounts receivable person for that particular account will receive an email notification that a credit has been submitted and needs to be processed. You can check the status of the credit by searching the original order that the credit is submitted against, or by searching within the account that the credit was submitted for. So accounting will get an email once you submitted a credit. Once they have processed the credit, they will give a number here. And once that number is there, you'll know that the credit has been issued. In the rare occasion that you would need to submit a credit for $1,000 or greater, supervisor approval is required. In that instance, you'll need to view the credit by clicking the link to view, and then you can submit for approval by clicking this button right here. From there, your supervisor would receive email notification that a credit in the amount of $1,000 or greater has been submitted and requires their approval. So that is the credit process within Cobra. Training documents along with a work instruction will become available to you once this goes live.